Hello and good evening and welcome to What a Week. Another Tuesday, another warm Tuesday. Wow, last couple of days have been really warm, haven't they? This is What a Week. My name is Tony Crossbody and we are going to be discussing topics, news items from the last 7 days. Now, normally I'm joined by my sidekick, Mr. C, but unfortunately he's on official duties. But we have able replacements and we have one with us right now and a special guest coming later on. So let's welcome, she's been here before, she knows a thing or two. She's a melanin princess, she's beautiful, she's gorgeous, she's lovely. DJ Elaine Smith, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me again. Thank you.
Oh.
I love doing this show, actually.
Oh, we love having you. I had to pull a lot of strings to get you here, Elaine, I must say.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I pulled a lot of strings to get you back on the show. Idris called me and said he heard about the show. Can he come on? I said, nah, not really. I don't really think you've got much opinions, to be honest with you. I'd rather Elaine, to be honest with you.
Funny speaking, can I digress a little bit? Funny enough, I watched a film with Idris last night, when I just want to brain dump. What was it? It was with Gabrielle Union, and it was such a good film. My daughters, my special daughters, my princesses, my daughters. I watched it on Prime something. It was really good, and it was really lovely to see him in a role where it was so emotional. Because he had to, I don't want to give away the storyline too much, but he was fighting for the custody of his three daughters.
Yeah, I saw that.
Have you seen? Oh, it was so lovely, and I thought he was absolutely excellent. I think that's one of his best performances. Really loved it. Yeah. Loved it.
So despite all that talent that he's got, he can't get on this show. So look at that. Only high caliber guests are allowed to come here and spout their opinions. But Idris, no, sorry, mate.
Oh well, what can I say? Oh well.
Besides yourself, another guest coming, a special guest. I won't say his name, but you'll see him when he comes in. I mean, he's not short of an opinion or two, and so we look forward to when he arrives. Now, we were just talking behind the scenes, Elaine, that you were telling me about. Well, actually, I mentioned to you that we had Daddy Ernie on the show last week.
Oh.
And Daddy Ernie was telling us all about the Choice FM plaque, but this particular 10-mile walk. Were you there?
I was there. We did the 10-mile walk. We started off at Trinity Gardens, where the original studio was. We walked up to the second home for Choice FM, which was in Borough High Street. And then we walked up to Leicester Square, where it was its final resting place. And then we ate a bag of sweets and walked back again. So it was just great. It was fantastic. And because of the social distancing and that, we didn't give it much publicity because we didn't want to have to manage a crowd. Because, when I tell a few people that I went on it, they were like, oh, I would have come. But it really was just a handful of people. Yvonne Thompson, who was a shareholder in Choice FM. We had Wayne Turney, who's still over at Capital Extra, because Choice FM has now become Capital Extra, and he's just a fabulous guy. He's in advertising. We had Martin J, who was multitasking because he was actually reporting back to a Zoom situation that they had going. I mean, I don't want to leave anyone out. Once you start, that's why I don't like calling people's names, because when you don't call everybody's names, you kind of think, oh my God, you didn't call everyone's name. But Pam Joseph was there with her camera crew.
What is she doing now?
Pam Joseph, she's on Ben TV.
Okay.
Ben TV. She's been there for an age and a day now, since Choice FM, actually.
I always remember her little news articles that she used to do. She used to do a little news snippets, didn't she?
Yeah, that's right. She actually did used to do the news on Choice FM. Yeah. So, she is newsy. Love our Pam. Really love our Pam. And I mustn't forget, I've forgotten him. Because it was because of him that I actually completed the 10-mile run. And he's on My Soul. Russ. Oh my God, he's gonna kill me. Oh, he could have got back so much sooner.
Right,
I was like Freddie the Eagle,
right, right,
right? And he assisted me, you know what I mean? By
right, right.
walking with me. And
Okay,
now
okay.
I can't remember his name. I'm gonna
Right.
have to remember it before the show's
Yeah,
out,
well,
otherwise he will kill
you
me.
shout out if you remember before the end of the show.
Yeah, I hope so.
Just a quick word to our listeners, our viewers. If you have any comments, any suggestions, please feel free to let us know. Even if your opinions differ from ours, it's okay. There's a chat box there. You can basically just air your views. Now, Elaine, what year did you actually start with Choice FM? Can you remember?
Oh my God, I was there. In fact, my voice was the first voice that you heard on Choice FM. So I was
Oh,
there from the giddy up, from the very get go. Myself and Daddy Ernie was the first voices that you heard on Choice. But the year I can't remember. I had so much going on.
so it was
Forgive.
the very first show of its broadcast. Is that right? Is that what you're saying? Choice FM?
No, in fact, my show wasn't the first show, but my voice was the first voice you heard because we did a lot of, when you're starting something up, we
Oh,
did a lot
test
of
transmission.
trailers,
Right,
test runs, and stuff like that. So it
right,
was myself and Daddy Ernie that made the announcement to say, "Get ready, we're coming on, we're signing on." Can't remember verbatim, but we were the
right.
first voices that you heard. Yeah,
Now, if I remember rightly, I think were you on LWR before?
I was on LWR, and like I was saying, I mean, when I was doing the piece for Pam, because she was doing a news piece, I
Right,
was saying, what if we had got the license, there wouldn't have been a choice. If we had gone for the South London license, there probably wouldn't have been a choice. But Zach went for the London wide license, and of course they gave it to Kiss FM.
right,
And so it left the goal open for Choice FM to get it. And
right.
when I said that, they all went, "Ooh." I said, but we were happy for you to do that, that we were happy. Because, I mean, I was up and down the place with Neil and Patrick before we went on.
Right.
Um,
And did they
and I
poach you?
said,
Did they poach you from LWR?
I was already off of LWR, and by
Oh, I
then I
see.
was on B Sky B. And I
Oh,
can't remember how that link came, but it came, and you know. And I said, when I went, oh, I said, but come on, when Choice came on, it sounded like LWR because you had Daddy Ernie, you had Jigs, you had myself. We all came from LWR. Do you know what I mean?
right,
And
right.
actually, it would have been rude if they didn't take presenters from some of the pirates to go on to Choice FM. So
Right.
we were happy for them. But I like history to be history and be
Yeah.
true.
Yes. Yes. So, I mean, how did you actually get into broadcasting? Were you always in the music game? Were you part of a sound, or were you involved in what were you involved in that got you into sort of radio?
Well, what got me into radio was Daddy Ernie hearing me one night and asking me to get a demo tape to him, which I did. So the Friday night he saw me. The Saturday morning I got the demo tape up to Hawkeye in Harlesden.
So you were playing a gig? What were you doing when
I
you
was playing at the Uppercut. I say the Uppercut. Daddy Ernie says Hammersmith Palais, but it
right,
was on a big stage.
right, okay.
And yeah, and when I'd finished my set, he was impressed with the fact that I was using the mic, selecting the music, playing the music, getting a good forward from the crowd. And he'd never really seen a woman do all of it
Right,
on her own.
right.
So then he said, have you thought of being on radio? Get me a demo tape and I'll get you. So I saw Zach on the Sunday. By the Monday, I was doing the breakfast show.
Wow. And that was LWR radio, right?
And that was on LWR. Yeah.
I remember listening to them back in the day.
Yes. Well, we were. I mean, there were other pirate radio stations out there, but there wasn't a black-owned for black people playing black music and, not scared to play something new, because that's what we did. We introduced the wider public to your Luther Vandross, your Cheryl Lynn's, and all of those mainstream, Anita Baker, all those artists that we now know as mainstream, because it was only your specialists, it was only your specialists that probably knew about those tunes. If a mainstream radio was playing black music, it'd probably be Motown.
Right.
So when we came on and we started playing all the latest from America and stuff like that, then the mainstream stations started playing it too.
Right. So did you stay at Choice FM right until the end, or did you leave before that?
Oh, Choice FM, I wasn't there for very long.
Okay.
I was also on B Sky B, so the workload was quite heavy.
Right.
I was there for 3 days.
Right. Okay.
So, you know.
You need to call Roy Castle and put that in the Guinness Book of Records.
Yes.
You were that good, right? You were there for 3 days.
I was there for 3 days.
Right.
But yeah, you know, but Choice FM, I think, came on, made a mark. It hasn't been surpassed as yet, you know, and it's so sad that it's great that we're putting a plaque up, but one of my friends said that it's almost like a headstone, like RIP.
Yes, this is the end.
This is the end. I'm hoping that it will inspire someone to bring a station back. Who's got the money to bring back what the epitome of black music really is?
Right.
You know, all encompassing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
So what was your take? Oi!
Hey,
Quincy! Ladies and gents, it's the man himself. He's a comedian. He's got an opinion. Welcome, Copy Quincy.
What's going on? You're right. Yes, apologies. I had to.
No, none of that. We already said you're coming on late.
Yeah,
no, we said you're coming on later.
Yeah.
You got big up, plug up yourself now.
Yeah. So you're kind of early because
you're early still.
Yeah, late and later, two different things. But I'm here.
Right. So we were just having a quick conversation with Elaine about Choice FM, and because she said she did a 10-mile walk last week, and they put a plaque, or it's an aid of putting up a plaque.
Yeah, to raise the money to get the plaque up, and to also raise some money for the leukemia. What is it?
ACLT.
ACLT. Thank you.
Thank
you. I've got to say to everybody now, I've just lost my niece. I just got news of that. So if I'm a little bit bumbly or incoherent or lose my track, please bear with me. I'm not all here. I'm here, but I'm not.
No problem.
Yeah.
But can I say to Quincy, thank you for washing up my plates, and I need some more washing now.
Well, we would talk. I don't know if this is the man's program.
No. Let's investigate this washing plates. What's this about?
Well, Quincy,
I'm gonna be eating food, yeah, because I'm training.
Yeah. Do your thing, bro. It's all right. It's permissible.
The washing up. What do you need to know? Washing up thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So I do this program called In Sync with the Quincy when I go to people's houses, and I basically, as you're doing here, talking to us and interviewing us and having opinions, I just do it while I'm doing the dishes.
Right.
I go into the cupboards. It's moved on since I've done it with Elaine. I was lucky enough to, Elaine was one of the first people I done it with. So it's like Through the Keyhole meets Graham Norton.
Right.
So and I wear my little pinny. I've got my marigolds. I've got my little washing up thing.
Right.
And, I came up with the idea because when I was growing up, as you know, from a big family, you had to do. No one likes doing the dishes, but for me, it didn't bother me because that's the time when you get to relax. You get to listen to the radio. You get to collect your thoughts. And
therapeutic.
Yes. So I mean, it's therapeutic when you're trying to put hot water on macaroni cheese and it's been there for God knows how long.
Right. So you're going.
But my plates weren't really dirty. I gave him a bunch of clean plates to wash. And I cooked for you. And I cooked.
You did, and it was nice.
Oh, she a good cook, yeah?
What?
All right.
It was all right. It was all right. Yeah. When I was to the mission, I was like, well, you got to step it up.
Yeah, rice and peas, and I can't remember what else it was. Was it chicken? I can't remember. Was it rice and peas and chicken and salad?
Chicken
Yeah,
breast, very healthy.
yeah. And
your show is about you go to celebrities' homes and do that, or well-known people's
Well,
homes. And
Elaine's our very own celebrity, so I go to people's homes and people who have a story to tell
right,
and who are interesting to the viewer.
right,
And basically, I do a little game show with them now at the end of it. So like couples' houses, and I think that what I've added to the show is I do like a location thing. So I took a bit about the area and what the area's known for and stuff like that, and I just go through their cupboards and basically say like what their food intake is and what kind of house it is, and it's just like a little light fun. I filmed four brand new episodes, which are coming up later on this year. Different people's with businesses and friends of friends, and I was quite shocked to find that women love to show off when they've got the new kitchen done. I come with the kitchen. You want me to your kitchen? And as a man, you should know women love to look like majority of orders are women, females, and women like to see other people's things, as in kitchens.
yeah, we do. We like to see other people's houses in general,
and the general makeup and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so, it's come off really well. Like I said, I've filmed 4 brand new episodes. I've put attention to it. I've done a couple of businesses, so by the end of the year, it'll be all on one channel, and then we'll watch them.
Oh, excellent!
Lovely.
Do keep us posted about that, so we can actually tell the viewers where to go. So we have a few things to talk about with regard to what's been happening in the last 7 days, and it's a series of news topics. So perhaps we can put the first topic up for discussion this evening. It's all to do with coronavirus still. So there it is. Rate of 6. GP.
Well, I can't read it, but go on.
It says coronavirus, rule of 6, GP appointments, and life under lockdown. So since yesterday, we are now no longer allowed to gather in groups of more than 6 people.
You know what's so peculiar about all of this? And if I wake up dead tomorrow, you know why. What is peculiar about all of this? We're not allowed to gather in more than groups of 6, but yet you're sending kids to school in classes of how many? And you're telling them to observe social distancing. My grandchildren are 7 and 9, I think it is, or 11 and 9, something like that. What do they know about social? They'll say it to you because they've heard grown-ups, but by the time they get in that playground and they're running around with the ball and they're doing what they're doing, I'm sorry, how are you going to keep them social distance? And how are you going to avoid them coming home and infecting the rest of the family? So I look at that and I think, does coronavirus really exist? And what is this really about?
Yeah, for me, rule of 6 shows you how much you really care for your family members. I come and see mummy. I don't think mummy can see you today, because you're the 7th child. Rule of 6, you can pick and choose who you want. When they've limited people to the weddings, it's you just put down people that he didn't like in the first place. So for me, again, suspiciously targeted at the Black Asian community. I don't say BAME, Black. We're from a generation. We got enough brothers, and that's a break for me, or sisters. And like back in the day, or even recently, everybody went round mama's house, or there was always that one house everybody went round. And I feel government, like, where you get the number 6 from, 1,
Oh,
It's another way to break down the family, because
yeah.
culturally we are family orientated people.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I believe because black people have enough picnic in their family, I think white people have turned around and said, you know what, we need catch up. So rule of 6, so so they can have more picnic to catch up.
Many more kids. Well, it's really sad. It is sad, and I'm really glad that we can find the jokes, because there've been many jokes. But this is a serious thing, because when you think that you can't go gather with more than 6 people, but they're sending the kids to school who are the most vulnerable, right? It's almost like they're weeing up your back and telling you that it's raining. Because that's kind of like hiding in plain sight, then, isn't it? It's like, what's his name's speech? You can go out, but don't go out. You can go out, but don't go out. You can go out, but don't go out, but you must go to work. It's so confusing. Do you know what I mean? So to me, it's like, I just want to know what really is going on already. Because the children are the most vulnerable. How are you sending them back to school if the pandemic is still rife? It does not make a single bit of sense. It doesn't.
I find it hilarious that how the corona can differentiate ages and color. You know what I mean? Because when earlier on in the lockdown, it was young people and old people.
That's
now
right.
Now it's 18 to 27. You know what? As far as I'm concerned, yeah, I'm living my life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna weigh up. I've done a couple of partners, and when those partners come in, I will weigh up with the fines. Yeah, and Boris has turned around and said that he's doing it the rule of 6 to protect the people. But who's going to protect the snitches who grass on the people who go into the house? That's what I mean. Because when they find out, when man tell you out, and they say, how do you know? And then you see Gladys all like this. Yeah. When police are gone, they'll be getting a knock on the door. So, like I said today, I was mentoring some children today. Yeah, and you got to basically show them what COVID is and how you do protect yourself. And they were talking about rule of 6, and I was talking about rule of 6 from a professional point of view. Yeah, I said, but at the end of the day, when you have your family over, the main important thing, the main important rule is to drum into your head. No one likes to snitch.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I just interject? I've just had a message on my phone asking where they can find this program. So if there's, if we've got someone in the back office to just send it out again.
The kitchen.
I don't know.
The kitchen.
The kitchen.
So you
the kitchen. I don't know.
They can go
I've just had a message saying, how can I log on to the show?
So
it just came up on my screen.
What they can do is go to medianet.tv on YouTube and just look at the latest video, and it will be this one.
You know what? And it's so futile now, right? Because I can't come off to tell them that.
Oh, okay. We can't put it in the chat because they're not there.
Yeah, and they might have 6 people in there already.
Right.
Yeah. You know this.
So apparently the Home Secretary on BBC News said that basically families who stop to talk to other members of their family in the street, so if 2 sets of 4 people talk to each other, that would be in breach of the 6 restrictions. And she said that basically if she saw people doing that where she lived, she would report them.
Yeah, I heard that today on Nick Ferrari's show.
Who said that?
Priti Patel.
Priti
Patel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because her family don't love her no more.
That's right. Oh,
Patel, come on.
She brought that law in and condoned it when she changed the immigration law. That's when her family said you can do one. Yeah. And that's when she said, you know what, I'm going to get you back. Now, I'm from the Asian community.
So she's basically breaking up the Asian community. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some people that they get in certain circles and they lose their minds.
Yeah.
Because, you know, where did you come up with the number 6 from? And do not tell me that. Anyway.
And the fines go up to £3,200. Can you believe that?
So if we're out, but the pubs are open. So the pubs are open, right?
Yeah. But they're sitting on tables of no more than 6. That's apparently what the rules are.
So okay, so hold on a minute then. So if I then had a garden party,
right,
and I set up tables and people were sat in groups of 6 at each tables, as like they do in the pub, am I going to be liable for a fine?
Yes.
Why?
Because you're not a business.
Yeah. And your neighbour's going to snitch you.
Yeah, but hold on a minute. So now coronavirus is not going to catch people in the pub because it's a business.
Yes.
But it will affect the people in my house sat at tables in groups of 6 because I'm not a business.
I think that what they're basically saying, right, is when you go into these establishments, yeah, you have to give your details. So even if they're not social distancing and it peaks, at least there's some kind of information they can go to say, well, they were at these individuals were at this pub or this bar. When you go into your house and you have 12 people, even though there's 6 separated, no, you're not asking your cousins and your nieces and for the details when they come in the house, are you?
Well, let's put it this way.
I do, because my cousins are thief.
Well, look, if that was the reason, then tell us to do that then, innit? Tell us to do that. And so is it because people in pubs can't count up to more than 6 then? Because if it's a case of like taking people's details when they come into the pub, are you telling me that you can't count to more than 6?
Yeah, but in a pub environment, I feel like I'm defending the government, you know. In a pub environment, you can tell them to be seated in tables of 4s and 6s. In a house, you can't do that, can you?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Unless
yes, you can.
You can only do that in a West Indian house in the living room where they can't go inside there. they can't sit on the sofa. Yeah, you can say, no, don't go in there. So from that.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, all right, around the table, right, where they say, all right, let's break it down then. Let's break it down. So they're saying that you can't gather in more than groups of 6. And do you still have to be 2 meters apart?
Yeah, well, each table would have to be, thereabouts.
And so they've now made these tables extra big now so that you can get 2 meters apart, because I know there ain't no seating area in a restaurant or a pub where you sit down around the table and you're 2 meters apart. So unless they're putting, you know, these tables are now being doubled up and they're like sitting 2 meters apart, to me, it's like those 6 people, if this coronavirus really, let's say it does exist, all right? Those 6 people have a high chance of catching the virus, going out, it's incubating, and then passing it on to somebody at their workplace or somebody at their house. So if there is a pandemic that has got, you know, a virus that is fatal, then actually nobody should be out. Nobody should be out. So nobody should be out. So, you know, things multiply. That's what multiplication is. So from that 6, if one of them catches it, and if we use their system, which is if one person has it, then they're going to trace all the rest of the people that was at that gathering, because the chances are those are going to have it as well. So those 6 people are going to go out and give it to another 6 people, because they're each going to meet somebody, and it's going to multiply. So if this thing was fatal, we shouldn't be out mingling at all, period.
You know what?
Sorry, just quick before you go in, Chris. I just saw a very interesting Facebook post which said, if you didn't watch the news, would you know that COVID-19 even existed?
Yeah, because
you know
everyone's
what?
talking
You know
about
what?
it. Good.
Growing up, I go to plenty of clubs and ask women for dance. So black women been social distancing from certain men. Get away! You know, you know what I like? You know what I like? What Elaine was doing. Elaine, this is what black people are doing. When black people don't want to do something, yeah, they try and break it down like it's Pythagoras. Yeah. So,
Yes.
so if the 6 people and you take away the gene and then you experiment and you twist wrong. Basically, what Elaine's saying is that I ain't doing it.
Right.
You know what? I ain't doing it.
Yeah. Saying good evening, Sharon.
No, but I'm not doing it, and here are my reasons. I'm not I'm not sheep, you know what I mean? You have to question these things. The reason why we are where we are right now in society is because we moan in the lift and then we go, anyway, see you later, and we're gone. Everything is so passionate in the lift, the hairdressers, the barbershop. Everybody has the most to say. Radio stations, platforms like this, but we don't do anything about it. The French and the Muslims and certain other groups, much them can't unsee what happened. But this which is a worldwide thing now, right? If we had moaned about certain things before, I don't think they could have taken us so far, because the way to control people is to get them to say yes a few times, that they use it in sales all the time, and then next thing you know, you're saying, yes, I'm buying that sofa that I can't really afford. Do you know what I mean? Because you've just got into the pattern of saying yes. To me, the best time to implement new laws and control is out of confusion. And isn't this a mass confusion? And how many laws are being passed in this confusion? And not one of them make any sense.
So let me ask you both a question. Do you agree with Blossom, who wrote that COVID-19 is a big contradiction to suit the UK government plans? It's got nothing to do with our health. Would you agree with that statement?
100.
I don't. I'll put it out there. I don't believe COVID is this. It's a mask. No pun intended.
But the truth is, I mean, all of us have known or heard of someone who has died from what has been termed as COVID-19, yes?
I haven't heard of anybody that has died of COVID-19. I've heard of people that's had really bad, hard to shift coughs and colds, and they've put it down to COVID-19.
That's right.
But remember, people were dying all the time. And remember, allegedly, people who have died in the hospital during this COVID-19 period, everybody that's died, they've labelled it as COVID-19.
That's right.
And I've even heard that they're not even doing autopsies. Do you know what I mean? So to me, they are wearing up our back and telling us that it's raining.
So
Sorry.
I can't say no more to that because I agree 100%. You know what I mean?
That sorts that out. But actually, something else related to coronavirus, and our second news item has to do with the amount of divorces that are now pending, because right, a divorce boom is forecast, says the BBC, right, as lockdown sees advice queries rise. So basically, people know that they want to get divorced, right? The courts are closed, or there's a delay. Right?
Laugh. Why am I laughing?
There's a backlog, of divorce cases to come up. And Quincy, what do you think about this?
That's really funny. You imagine, that you and your partner have been going through trials and tribulations for a little while now. And as a woman, I can speak from a male point of view, as a woman, you've always suspected your fella for doing some dodgy shit, but you've never had him in one place to really go through his phone.
Shame.
And this lockdown, the one time said no, you can't go nowhere. So you've had literally 4 months to figure out his PIN code. That is why. That is why. I think I'd be quite interested to see the kind of age group who were going through those divorces, because I thought that me and my children would actually fall out, but we actually bonded a bit tighter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I ended up playing FIFA with my son. That's how gangster he was. You know what I mean? But I'd be quite interested that to see the age group, and those divorces pending, they were going to mess up anyways. Only because, like you said, the course was cut, and it's looking at it as an excuse. And do you know what? Technically, what's happened is that what COVID has done, the good old days of having a rant, having an argument, and saying, "I'm off."
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm off. Sometimes those I'm off save relationships.
Right.
I've done that enough times. You know what? I don't want to hear this shit. I'm off.
Yeah.
And I come back in a week, and then
Come back next month,
You,
and everything's all right.
but you see,
again, I'm off. Next
Right.
week.
but you see, that's exactly it, though, isn't it? You see, a lot of marriages are just functioning.
That's right.
A lot of marriages are just functioning, and ordinarily, more time still, if you've got a 9 to 5, you spend more time at work than you actually do at home.
Yeah.
And then during this COVID period, you've actually had to learn about your partner, and then you've decided, actually, I don't really like you. Do you know what I mean? And that happens. And also, if you've got like a marriage where there are 3 people in the marriage, so you've got your stop off where you go. And I'm saying not just men, women do it too. Just before you get home, you might stop off at the side chick or the side piece his house, and you don't have that reprieve.
Right.
You don't have that reprieve from the house. Do you know what I mean? Because
there's no excuse. You can't say I'm going to see a friend, or I'm going to the gym, or I'm working overtime when you're furloughed.
I know there's enough Ray's phones on silent for 4 months. Vibrate. And it's like, I know their missus are like, I never knew this man's phone blows up so much. No,
you know the ones I don't feel sorry for them, but I suppose that's why I'm laughing, because I'm laughing at that side of society, because you've got the people that's got their side pieces, right, and the side pieces know about the main piece, right? They know, so they can probably understand it's not their fault, it's the government's fault. But what about the people that is living a double life? Do you know what I mean? Where now you have to let one of them down.
Yeah.
You got to let one of the pieces down. And that piece is like,
I'm glad you're saying these words. Like, and
what is it that I'm saying? What is it that I'm saying? I'm just thinking,
we be like, I can't believe it. So yeah, carry on, Elaine. You're doing great, sweetheart.
I mean, what else you going to call them if them not a side piece?
People.
They're
They call
illegal.
people feelings and emotions.
Elaine, which
No.
one are you the wife or the side piece? Which one are you?
Wife every time, babes.
Okay.
Tell them again.
Oh, wife every time, because one of the first things I do, even when I don't know you, right, I used to do this for joke. If you came to chat me up, one of the first thing I do is I'll say, you're quite nice, but let me see your keys. And they'd be like, no, let me see your keys. So you have to show me your bunch of keys, and then you have to tell me what key belong to. And I used to do that for joke. And they used to stand there and say, well, why have you got 3 Yale keys then? How much else do you have? Why will make you have to have 3 Yale keys?
I'm a caretaker.
You know what? I would have loved to have spoken to you, because I would have had the answer to every single one of them.
I'm a caretaker.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, it's like, what can I say? It's like there's a lot of power in a moment, right? And when you take that power from the get-go, then you'll be so surprised how much information and how much truth people will say to you. Because, you know, from that little exercise there, and because I'm jovial as well, the conversation always ends up with, now look, I know you've got a wife, but I think what you should do now is buy a bunch of flowers and take it home to your missus. I've had conversations where,
What, 2 in the morning?
huh?
2 in the morning.
No, but I am being absolutely serious now. I'm being absolutely serious now.
Quincy,
I'm
on the
being really, really
pillow,
serious.
Quincy, on the pillow talk.
Huh?
I think you need to go. I need you need to go now.
Oh, shut your face. Oh, I just got what he said. I just got what he said. I just got you. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. That never not me. I just got you said. But I'm just handing out some stuff for my girls out there. Do you know what I mean? If you don't want to end up as the side piece, you've got to do your due diligence. And the best time to do it is right from the get-go.
Don't if you want to be a side piece, don't ask those questions what Elaine just said, yeah? Because that will use their brain on you. Because I was like, I manage properties and what? And I was taking your keys and showed you your Yale key.
No. No. But you see, the thing is, like I said, there's a lot of power in the moment. And remember, you're coming up trying to be a good boy, you know. And I put you off guard. Because nobody not asks you for see it. You're like, you don't know what I'm asking you about. Okay. And you'd be so surprised, I swear to you. They always end up telling me the truth.
The moment's got me 3 children, so...
You know what? For me, if I want to find out, if I met a woman and I want to find out all about her, all I do is go and look at her Facebook. That tells me.
See, that was then. But go on.
That tells me everything.
I'm glad you didn't say TikTok. I'll be like, do you know what? No. I will kind of show you on.
Or her OnlyFans page, right? I just go to her social media and just have a look at what's going on. That tells me everything I need to know.
Yeah, but really though, really.
No,
how you know people can do what they like on that Facebook? You know, you've got people sitting there like they're a size 10, 12, even 14, 15, really curvaceous, gorgeous.
My point is, you've met her already, right? And you just want to sort of get a bit more detail and a bit.
I see.
Their Facebook page is very helpful for that.
Now, I don't go down that road. If you want to really know about the woman you're after, you like, check her WhatsApp profile.
What?
WhatsApp profile. Because women always leave something, some cryptid message of how they're feeling or where they're at. You know what I mean? Or something. You can always tell someone's upset them because they leave some quote from Eliza Van Zandt.
Go on my page. You won't see anything like that. And I've been busting up in pain. I've just had a steaming row with this one and that one. And you go to my Facebook page, and I'm growing roses, babe.
You're gonna hold it down.
I don't. But check it. I check your profile. I'll check your profile.
Go check it, and you come back and you tell me how I was feeling.
Because if your picture's been on there too long, that tells me, you know what, she's at a place. She ain't changing it too often. She's comfortable where she's at in her life.
She's on a weight loss program.
If you've had the same picture for a good couple of months, that tells me you're comfortable who you are. All right, you're sturdy. You're a sturdy bird.
Well, then I'm in that.
You keep on changing it up all the time. That tells me, you know what, it's a bit indecisive.
Oh, right. See, Quincy's the man. I got to take some tips from Quincy.
Like, well, he's right.
I'm around with a cockney, but I know.
And if you're changing up that often, you've obviously got too much time on your hands.
Well, you have. It just shows. People change around their WhatsApp. They're indecisive all the time. The Facebook, I don't go by the Facebook because you can talk to someone on Facebook, and that's why there's probably divorces. Bring it back. So much divorces.
Bring it around to I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, if you're really the best way to know about someone is to be with somebody, and if they're not seeing you on their birthday, Christmas Day, Valentine's Day, or any of those days where you know you're supposed to be cuddled up and stuff, then you know you're the side chick. You know you're the side piece. You just know.
Now, just want to say a shout out to Mr. Anthony Brightly, who concurs with you, Quincy, and said that the COVID has brought his family together. As
Yeah.
opposed to sort of driven them apart. That's good. So from a lot of people,
Is that the Anthony Brightly?
yeah, it could well be.
If it is, you got my G.
I invited him to watch, so yeah.
We get all the celebrities on this show watching. I think we've got 12 people watching right now, man, from all over the world.
Yeah, do you know what? I should actually, technically, he's responsible for a lot of reasons. I've got a lot of turn downs. That's why. He's a dancer.
Likewise.
Andy Brightly's dancing. It's the same one. He's the reason he made me work on my game.
Yeah.
Why? Tell me why.
I was a youngster. I like big women. I like big women. Innit? So I had to work on my game. So yeah, if it's the Andy Brightly,
yeah, he's responsible.
Yeah, well, you know what? If that's the one, that was like my training ground.
Yeah, that was it because of what you what's it called? You dance too much to Sticks, man.
No, what it was, you know what it was? Growing up, I was always into hip hop and rap, but you can't or try and romance someone and they're busting hip hop moves.
Right.
So when I started to go to like the reggae and the rare grooves and all that kind of stuff, I had to come correct. You know what I mean? So it's a difference asking someone to dance in a hip hop rave. You know what I mean? He's like, let's dance. You know.
A running man.
You can't do that in a rare groove thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So yeah. If it's the Anthony Brightly, the Stone Love,
Yeah.
Is that one there?
Yeah.
Nothing but love.
He is responsible for the most embarrassment, the most breakups, and probably the most marriages, and probably the most births in the black community in London.
And why do you say that?
Well, because his music, his sound, when he was Pastor George, brought a lot of people together.
Yeah.
A lot of people got married. A lot of people broke up. A lot of men got tough skin. A lot of men turned into playboys from church. Yeah, he's responsible for a lot.
Shall I tell you what he's responsible for right now? Right now, he's responsible for the launch of this new this documentary that he's got coming out on the 23rd of September. And it's Young, Gifted and Black. You know the song Young, Gifted and Black? His son Gavin, who's now become the lead singer of Black Slate, is the lead singer on this tune, which they also recorded with the Antiguan Youth Choir. And he's done this. He's spoken to quite a few young people, got their story, and he's put it into a documentary which is going to release on September the 23rd. So it's a big thing. And and also he's got his club in Antigua as well. Well, I say club, his grounds with his mini mansions over these grounds.
And he deserves every single.
Absolutely. There should be a documentary on the man. He's done so much within the community over the decades. I mean, it's immeasurable. And
Trident.
A lot of stuff he's done behind the scenes that people don't know about. So we salute you, Mr. Brightly, for your work, and long may it continue.
Yeah.
Excellent. So we're doing for time, not too bad. I want to talk about this very interesting event that's taking place in America. And so we have a short video.
Oh, I ain't taking place in America.
And it's a video in America about a group of black people who've decided to go alone and basically, let's have a look at the video. Let's roll the video and see.
Yeah, roll the video.
We are the buying power. If we can just teach each other to circulate our dollars within the community, we will solve our own problems. We are literally the answer to our own problems, but we have to change our thinking and come together. My name is Renee Walters, and I am the president of the Freedom Georgia Initiative. I have a black husband, I have a black son. Every time he would leave out for work or just to go to the store or anything, I would have a sense of anxiety just from watching everything that we've been going through lately with the pandemic and watching our black men being murdered on national television in front of everybody. It kind of just all shook us by storm. It's now time for us to get our friends and family together and build for ourselves. That's the only way we'll be safe. That's the only way that this will work. We have to start bringing each other together. Well, we are looking to get amenities on the land. We want to have a place where you can have weddings, a nice retreat. We'll have tiny homes. We really just want you to come and hang out and feel safe. You don't have to worry about the Karens of the world and anything like that. You just come and have fun. We'll have a sportsman area with fishing, hunting, shooting range, ATV trails. We really just want to build a tight-knit community for our people to just come and breathe together. I know they have a bad stigma that, oh, Black people can't come together, but just like how Black Wall Street, their dollars circulated around 11 times before it left the community. And that's just something we want to bring back. We want to encourage businesses to come, and we want to circulate our dollar within the community before it leaves out to someone else. We want to make everybody in our areas wealthy.
Wow.
Amazing.
Wow.
Brilliant.
So 19 families have got together, bought 100 acres of land, and their intention is to build their own city. Quincy, what do you think about that?
We've had one, innit? Tulsa.
Yep.
You
And
know
they
what I
mowed
mean?
it down.
And you know what happened there. And for me, that is a great initiative. I just pray. I think a lot of our work is mindset, as the woman says. I do believe that we do, as a community, we are tight, but it's not portrayed in that way. We do pick up on the negatives, but we do need to have these conversations to create that trust and to create that one love kind of community. And don't get it twisted. Even though that we can all live as one, doesn't mean that we are the same way of thinking. So you can have a conservative or a Labour living next door to each other.
Exactly, yeah.
But you can respect each other's views. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, I think it's a wonderful idea.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing. Once Black celebrities get hold of that and start to invest, then it will hit mainstream, and then you will have the little rumbles. And the way things are going for Lewis Hamilton, he might have to move there.
And apparently they're already getting, through the purchase, they've already been getting resistance, a lot of trolling online.
Oh yeah, always surprised.
Yeah. So I mean, do you think that's something that's workable in the UK?
I think yes, it is. I think over here, it's just what area would you go? I mean, the obvious one in my head is the Black country.
Obviously.
Yeah, I'll move up there just minus the accent. But yeah, I can't see why it can't happen over here. I think that our children, our grandchildren's generation view the world different to us, but I can't see why. One thing I've recognized in this movement, this change, is the generation now. The younger, they're not having it, and they will go forth and get what they need by any means necessary. So yes, I can't see why it shouldn't work over here.
Elaine, what do you think?
I think that it will work if the people who is at the helm of it actually understand the law, and because once you understand the law and you know what the parameters are and all of that, anything's possible. However, I believe that the law is not fair. And I just believe, like they did, they mowed us down, because it's not that we can't set up for ourselves. It's just that we've got this constant fight. So if it's down to us living together, finding the land and us living together, we could do that all day long, because we used to do that. As we said at the beginning of the show, there's 6 people or whatever in a lot of Black families, them have our 10 picnic. Do you know what I mean? So we're used to living together. A lot of us will testify that they slept in the same bedroom with their brother and their sister for many years before they got their own bedroom. So I don't think it's a thing where we can't live together. And yes, we do have difference of opinion, but we can live together. It's really down to now getting the law right and getting the right people in the right places to make it happen. So to illustrate what I'm saying, you're not going to get a plumber to do an electrician job or somebody who's just going to do a ting. Get the right people that's qualified to build, because there's loads of things that, because I was reading the article earlier and it's obvious they've got virgin land and they've now got to set about getting the plumbing, the electricity, the Wi-Fi and all of these kind of things. Now, if they're getting resistance, that's where they're going to get the resistance from, and that's what's going to make it hard. But so long as we can persevere and we know the law to challenge them every time we get resistance, then I think then it can happen.
Do you know one thing I think they might have gone wrong? Because they've put it out there. And I think sometimes when we put things out there to benefit our people, it gives other people opportunities to try and a spanner in the works. So that going out, they're like, what? You want to put a black neighborhood or black area within these? Nah.
Protesters and all kinds of things.
That, and when they go to build on the land, it's like there's a possible sabotage of not putting the right tools, or the planning. All of a sudden, the planning permission gets smashed up.
Yeah, so, and that's exactly what I'm saying. So therefore, I think that if we've got a foundation of, first of all, we've got the concept we want to do this, but then it takes more than money to do it. It takes know-how and it takes expertise. So you need to have people in place for when, you know, you've been waiting for twice the amount of time for them to come and survey it or to give us a piece of paperwork or to sanction something. You need that person or that group who knows to go to them and knows who to go to knock on the door and say, Aya, what's the hold up? Do you know what I mean? We've done everything. Do you know what I mean? Who can challenge them from a legal perspective? Do you know what I mean?
Sometimes don't say do. And I'll give you an example. Yeah. So growing up in Canning Town, East London, there was an Asian family who owned a store, like a mini local Asda, yeah. And that was that one store. I remember growing up, right? So I grew up in an area where Asians weren't really checked for, yeah. But everyone went in that store. And I tell you right now, growing up, by the time I reached 20, that Asian family owned the whole street.
Yeah.
They owned the superstore. They bought out the bakery. They bought the laundrette, the news agents, and I swear they had some housing team. So and it wasn't like, oh, this is what we're gonna do. Because if they turned around and if they said, oh, we're going to buy the whole of this street, right, I know the people in the area weren't having it. Yeah. And I think that sometimes that when we do something, like when we advertised the Black Pound, we told the world it was like it was on mainstream media. So that's going to get people's backs up. Sometimes don't say do.
Just don't say do. And, you know, there's a lot of merit in what you're saying, because when you think about Huey Crawford, the Tooting, I mean, it's horrible. It's not even controversy. It's wickedness, right? When you think of what they did to Huey Crawford, and for those of you that doesn't know who Huey Crawford is a retailer, and he and another black gentleman are the only two black-owned businesses in Tooting Market. And I think it was one day last week or the week before, they were raided, and they said they found marijuana in Huey's establishment, but you know, he has it for medicinal purposes, and it would probably only be like a small amount, but that was the reason they've given him to close him down, but I don't know what the reason is for closing down the other person.
No,
Do you know which day? Do you know which day they raided his store?
Black Pound Day.
Black Pound Day.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's pure wickedness. It's pure. So you was going to say about the other guy. What
The
was
other
his?
guy has been reprieved. So only
He's been
he-
what?
the other guy is not leaving no more.
All right, so he can stay
Yeah,
But he was going to go.
yeah.
because
I think Huey's a voice. Huey is a person that they feel is somebody that can challenge the norm. And I'm not saying that the other guy isn't, but I think that behind the scenes, as you know, if they want to get rid of you, it's like the whole thing driving the car. Oh, broken tail light, rear.
yeah.
It's just an excuse. They went in, the people in the market went into their establishments on, oh, we heard that you
Yeah.
are selling X amount. Not it's a fact. Not it's been scoped out. We heard.
Yeah.
And this is the tactics. This is another thing I go back to what I was saying. Black Pound was as great as the idea is. Don't say, do.
Yeah. And
So-
I think you're right. Just move covertly.
Yeah.
Covertly.
So
you
Sangria Andrea, she agrees with you. She wrote, I always say we chat too much. We don't always have to advertise what we are doing.
Yeah.
So,
My
but-
mum says that as well.
but going back to your point you made earlier, Quincy, about Tulsa. I mean, what's to now if these families get this land off the ground and start building their towns, what's to stop the same thing from happening again?
Black people fight back.
Hmm.
Having it. This generation
It won't. It stands more of a chance this time, innit? Well,
Right.
with our youth, I don't know, but go on.
Okay, so with that thought, we're coming to the end of the show, but we cannot end the show without talking about a musical maestro who passed away Saturday gone. Man like Frederick Toots Hibbert. He was taken into hospital, apparently had COVID, and then 10 days later, he was reported as having died. And Toots is basically more from, many of us probably know him from his famous song 5446 Was My Number.
That
And he
was
wrote
his
signature-
Joe number.
signature- Yeah, and that was his Joe number after doing a short stint in GP for marijuana possession. But he was a titan in reggae music. Apparently, he had more #1 hits in Jamaica.
Can I interject there? Sorry,
No.
can I interject
No, you
there?
can't.
Because
Let me
no,
finish.
please. He was innocent.
Yes, he was innocent.
Yeah.
So he had more #1 hits in Jamaica than Bob Marley, and it was he actually that was responsible for coining the word reggae, from which reggae we now know as reggae music. He had some big songs, Bam Bam and Pomps and Pride, and he was revered in sort of rock music circles and was quite influential on groups like the Specials and the Beat in the early 80s when the ska reggae sort of thing came around, and was noted for his sort of very gospel-y, soulful voice because he grew up in the church, part of a church choir. And so we want to pay our respects to Mr. Toots Hibbert and say good night. Thank you for joining us. All of you commented, thank you very much. Join us again next week. Thank the Cockney Prince, Quincy. And
Lovely.
Smith, thank you so much for your contribution. And for myself, Tony Crossbody, until next week. What a week. Good night.
What a week. Good night. Bye.